الله أكبر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In our last dars I was talking about differences, I was talking about ikhtilaf, and I was talking about the way, unfortunately, sometimes human beings are not willing to accept the haqq and the truth. وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ أَكْثَرَ شَيْءٍ جَدَلًا. So if you tell them something, a person will always have an excuse to offer, even though that excuse makes sense or not. But there's always excuses which is always offered. And to tell the truth, offering excuses all the time is an unfortunate trait of a hypocrite. Because when you look through the Holy Quran, many battles, the hypocrites, the munafiqeens, they didn't attend, like the Battle of Tabuk. So when Rasulullah ﷺ came back from the Battle of Tabuk, they just offered excuses that I couldn't go for the battle for this reason and that reason. So in our last dars, we looked at ikhtilaf, differences, and I mentioned that a true human being should always accept the haqq and the truth. Now this then takes me on nicely to today's dars and to today's short dars about the topic of mashwara. Now one way to avoid differences, one way to avoid ikhtilaf is by doing mashwara and by seeking consultation with the people who are around you. Now there are many virtues, ahadith, with regards to the fadail, with regards to the virtues and the importance of mashwara. And obviously we don't have time to look at every single hadith here. But there are a few points which I would like to mention about mashwara. Number one is that, first and foremost, mashwara, one of the benefits of mashwara, and when you discuss it with people around you, is that they always will give a different option to the one which you were thinking of. And what happens is that when a group of Muslims, when a group of scholars, when a group of people, they sit together, because they are sitting together with the intention to propel and propagate the deen of Allah, such a gathering, such a majlis is full of blessings. You get angels present there. So therefore, any kind of mashwara, any kind of consultation which is given by anyone in that particular gathering, then that consultation and that mashwara tends to be in a way directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there are many occasions, and I'm sure, alhamdulillah, we have many teachers here, where you've sat in meetings and so many things we've talked about. But then there's always been someone who perhaps may be the quietest teachers, who's around. Or there may be someone who perhaps doesn't really say as much. But then they give a mashwara which totally blows your mind off and you think, wow, that's so correct, that's so right. And that actually is because of the barakah of a mashwara. So that's why one advice I give to obviously the students we have, because alhamdulillah, one of the purposes of starting off Darul Ilm is that we want to create next generation of imams, role models, role model for your community, and inshallah time will come 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, when you will be, inshallah ta'ala, if Allah gives all of us tawfiq and you tawfiq that you'll be a leader of your community. So you'll also have to do mashwara as well. It could be so that certain things may going on in the masjid or in your maktab or in your madrasa. So again, the key thing is that always do mashwara. Yeah, very, very important. Do mashwara because you get the barakah and the blessings from there. Especially in matters where you're totally stuck or confused, you're not sure what to do. So always do mashwara with the people around, with your staff, with your team, with your colleagues, and you'll see that they'll always give mashwara, which obviously opens your mind up. But at the same time, another point to mention here, because this is where unfortunately sometimes people take the wrong idea of mashwara, that it's not something necessary for the imam and the leader to do mashwara in every single matter. Or if he does mashwara in every single matter, it's not necessary that he has to go according to the mashwara. Sometimes it happens that the leader, the imam, the principal of the madrasa may do mashwara. He takes everyone's opinion, but he's got a different opinion. And then what I want to explain is that the key thing for a leader or a principal or a muhtamim is that what he thinks is right in his heart. So you may take mashwara, but every mashwara he's getting, it's not actually penetrating his heart. He's not actually thinking that, you know what, I don't think so, this is right, I don't think so, this is right. But the opinion he has, he thinks that is the correct one. So the imam and the leader should go according to that. And I'm just going to give you a couple of examples. Number one, everybody knows the very famous story that after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu became the first Khalifa of Islam. And during Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu's time, there were some issues within the Muslim Ummah, in particular in the Arabian Peninsula, where some people refused to give zakat. Some people refused to give zakat. Now what did Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu do? His command was, La uqatilanna nas. I'm going to wage war against them hatta yu'tu zakah, until they give zakat. What was Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu saying? Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu's mashwara was, no, Abu Bakr, you shouldn't wage war because they're Muslims. They said the kalima, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that whosoever says the kalima, then his wealth and his nafs become sacred and protected. So you had two opinions here. You had Umar anhu's mashwara, which was that no, we should basically not wage war against them, just let them off for not giving zakat. And Abu Bakr anhu's opinion was that no, these guys are causing a rift and ikhtilaf in the Muslim Ummah by not giving zakat. And what was Abu Bakr anhu's opinion? He said no, we're going to wage war against them. So that's a great example where Abu Bakr anhu, he listened to the mashwara of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, but he didn't go according to that. He went according to what he thought was right at that particular time, and what he thought he was right at that time was to wage war against them. So what we can understand here is that it's not necessary for the imam to take mashwara from every single person at that time. Because when you look at it, if you're going to take mashwara from every person, then you're not going to go anywhere. Because you might have 10 people, one person giving this mashwara, one person giving that mashwara. So you can't do two at once. You can't do 10 things at once. So you just go with that option which you think is best at that time for the madrasa, at that time for your organization, at that time for the Muslim Ummah. Even another example, during the Battle of Uhud, where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he took mashwara from the companions that how do we engage with the mushrikeens of Makkah who are coming again to wage war against us. So most of the Sahabas, in particular those who didn't participate in the Battle of Badr, because remember, Battle of Badr wasn't pre-planned, so they were saying that no, let's fight them outside Medina Munawwara, in the open fields, because that will then increase the chances of our martyrdom. Whereas some of the Sahabas, and mainly the Munafiqeens, Abdullah bin Ubay, they were saying, no, let's fight the Meccans from within Medina. Let's stay in Medina, and then from like, what you call a guerrilla kind of fighting and so on, where behind the buildings, behind the thought we could then wage war and fight them. That's what the munafiqeens were suggesting. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he went with the option of, no, let's go outside and fight them. Let's go out of Medina and fight them. So this is an example again where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not take the other group's mashwara. So what I want to explain is that mashwara, yes, we should take it, but where an imam or someone's got, say for example, opinion which he thinks is correct and right at that time, then because he's the imam, because he's the leader, he's also got a right to also follow that opinion as well. He doesn't have to take mashwara for every single thing. But remember everyone, let me just clarify this, that whatever the opinion the imam has, which he feels so strongly about, that has to be backed up by Quran and Hadith, by the way. Yeah, if say for example, if his opinion is such which is totally haram, then you don't follow him. Just say for example, like I've got an opinion that okay, we need to run the madrasa like this, and everybody else got a different opinion. Now I feel strongly about my opinion, that's fine. But if my opinion is totally haram, then there's no basis on my opinion. There's no legs for my opinion anymore. So whatever opinion you have, which may be against the mashwara of the unanimous people, that opinion you have, it has to be backed up by Quran and Hadith. So even like Abu Bakr al-Anhu's opinion, that he said, no, we're going to wage war against those who are refusing to give zakat, that's backed up by Quran and Hadith. Yeah, that's one of the Aqidah Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Anyone who rejects zakat, the obligation of zakat, he becomes an apostate, he becomes a murtad. So man baddala deenahu faqtuluh. So what I'm trying to explain, that's backed up by Quran and Hadith. So what I want to explain is that, if somebody, the imam or leader's got a slightly different opinion, then that different opinion has to be backed up by Quran and Hadith. If his different opinion doesn't even make sense, or it's totally haram, or kufr and shirk and these things, then obviously no one then acts upon it. That opinion doesn't have any legs to stand on. But the key thing what I want to explain is that, and just one final point quickly, is I mentioned just now that the imam, whatever he feels, he could go according to his opinion, but at the end of the day, the imam is responsible for his actions or his opinions. What I mean by that is, it does not mean that we just do whatever we want. It doesn't mean we do whatever we want, because the role of leadership is such that there's more to lose than to gain. As Hazrat Umar al-Anhu said on his deathbed before he passed away, is that he was a leader for 12 years and he did insaf. But at the end, he just mentioned that I hope it is only kafaf for me. And this is also mentioned in the hadith as well. Kafaf meaning that even though you run the Islamic government or a madrasa or organization proper, justly, proper 100% insaf, what it means is that in the hereafter, it doesn't mean you get extra reward. It doesn't mean you get extra reward, no. It just means kafaf. Kafaf means that you saved yourself. That's what it means. You don't get any extra reward. You just basically done the minimum. That's it. You're not going to get extra reward for it. You just get the kafaf. Because if you then falter by 1%, then that's it. You're in trouble. That becomes zulm, and then you have to get questioned by Allah. Okay, you were the leader X, Y, and Z. You did this to such and such a person. Why? And if you just did insaf to him, that's it. You just get saved. In other words, Allah will not question about you. So what I want to explain is that, it's many things. It's good to be a leader and you can make decisions left, right, and center. But then at the same time, one needs to be wary that whatever decision you make, there will be something regarding it. Because you then have to, if it was a wrong decision, then you have to face the consequences. Because being a leader, if you do it properly with insaf, the only thing is kafar. That's it. You're not going to get questioned by Allah. So you don't get any extra reward. You don't get any extra thawab. It just means that you just saved yourself. So if you ask all the leaders, all the principals and responsible people of madrasas and these things, how much headaches, and I won't say headaches in a nice way, but how much stress and difficulty they go through, yeah, and people think, oh, they've got the best life and so on. No, what it just means is that they're not going to get extra reward and thawab. They just get kafar. They're just on the savior line. They're on the borderline. That, okay, they're just going to get saved and that's it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq wa aqim da'wan alhamdulillah.